I am hungry. Feed us. No, boy! Now, you are ready.
For what?
A new beginning.
Hello friends, Archer to be here. Today we are going to start a new game from Paradox Interactive, and the name of the game is Tyranny, as you can well see, of course. Now, the information for the persons who are going to watch this series, because this will be a series, will not be a review or how to do stuff, etc, etc. I will go very in depth on this video, trying to read everything, trying to understand basically the game, because in my opinion a game that you did not understood, it's a game that you actually lost on it. And of course I want to understand this game. The promise, what this game promises is, of course, this game is the likes of Baldur's Gate, etc. This type of games. But this game actually puts you in to start not necessarily as a good character and as a hero. Oh my God, I'm going to save the world and stuff like that. No, this game actually tells you that you already start working for an overlord, for let's say a dark overlord, for a bad person. But of course it allows you to be either a good character, either a bad character. So I'm going to first start a new game, and I was actually thinking going through the options, but no, I'm just going to start a new game. And the story mode difficulty settings requires minimal micromanagement and easily forgives mistakes in combat. Enemies receive a penalty to most stats. Companion combat is enabled by default. No, I think this one is way too simple. If you want just to play to finish the game, probably this will be the way to do it. Normal difficulty requires strategy and efficiency, but forgives a few mistakes in combat. Companion combat AI is enabled by default, and I think I'm going with this normal mode. And then the other one, the hard difficulty and the Path of the Damned difficulty, this is hard and very hard. And probably I'm going to try this one, but first I have to play in this mode for quite some time. Now you have here expert mode. Expert mode disables a number of helper features in the game. Players who want to rely on their own faculties and intuition while playing the game should play expert mode. This option is selected when you start a new game. It cannot be enabled in game, and if disabled, cannot be re-enabled in that game. Okay, fully understood. And then Trial of Iron, this is probably with one save. Yeah, only one save slot is permitted. I'm not going to try any of these two ones. Again, I'm not that experienced. The game just was just released several days ago. Again, I'm going to shut up through every video that this game has. Introduction, etc., etc.
For over 400 years, the armies of Kairos the Overlord have swept across the known world. All who stood against them fell before their might. Even the Archons, women and men of immense power, were forced to kneel, chained to the Overlord's will. Now Kairos' final conquest has come to our corner of the world, and two of the Overlord's armies compete for the honor of taking our lands. The elite disfavored, and the teeming horde of the Scarlet Chorus. The voices of Nerat, spy master and Archon of secrets, guides the fierce and undisciplined masses of the Scarlet Chorus. With each battle, the Scarlet Chorus grows stronger, as the defeated are given a simple choice: serve or die. Graven Ash, Archon of War and the Overlord's most loyal general, leads the disfavored. Though small in number, Kairos' ironclad legion has never met true defeat in open battle. Watching over the two generals is Tyranny, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, eldest of Kairos' minions. Tyranny brings Kairos' laws to newly conquered lands, aided by the Fatebinders, judges and executioners of the Overlord's laws. You were among the youngest of the court of Fatebinders when Kairos' armies came to our lands. How could we have known that the fate of thousands would rest in your hands?
Yeah, oh my god. The poor thousands. They have a terrible fate. So, yeah, starting with character creation. I'm going usually for a female character. At least I like to look at it. Male character, nah. And I'm going for a strong type, usually middle, not too bright, not too dark, in the middle. In the Northern Empire, where you were born, women enjoy equal protections under the law of Overlord Kairos. In the southern lands of the Tyres, women may crew a ship, but only men may own or captain a vessel. While these customs give the oceans to the men, the lands are trusted to the women. Men may rent and lease, but only women may own land and bequeath it to their daughters and sisters. While following a parent's profession is standard, many women choose to pledge service to one of the Overlord's powerful Archons. Those without a viable trade or lands to call their own are often drafted into the armies of the Archons, where it is assumed they will rise to glory and vanish in obscurity in accordance to their worth. Oh, that's nice. So basically, me being a woman, maybe I can employ some man to do some job for me, right? Because I'm the landowner. Yeah, okay, next. So, yeah, I passed through this just a little bit. I already selected this one, yeah, kind of looking nice. And blonde and noble, yes.
My wounds are slowing me down. I need rest.
Okay. Now, tattoos. Oh my god, there are plenty of tattoos in here. But what I actually want for is, because you have plenty of tattoos on one arm, one leg, etc, etc. I wanted something to be on both my arms and both my legs. And this is one of the best ones. So, yeah, I'm just going to stick with this one. The problem is that I don't like... I would put red, but no, that's actually good. Red and blue on this one. Oh. And the face of the women, that should be an archer, because I'm going to play as an archer. Now, why I'm going to play as an archer is because I believe in most of these games, being a barbarian type, quotes on quotes, it's a little bit too easy, and archers, they always have to keep their distance, etc, etc. So I believe it's a little bit more challenging to be an archer than actually to go, I don't know, pit fighter and then soldier and then or something like that. So pit fighter, not wishing to pay for feed and house too, the madam that purchased your mother sold you to the proving grounds. Oh, that's a bad fate. The Northern Empire bloodiest, most notorious fighting arena. Giving only enough training to ensure the show isn't over too soon, your natural prowess and survival instinct led you to one victory after another. There was no elegant swordplay, no formalized duels, just brutal melee and the stench of blood, shit and bronze with each day's gruesome necessities. It is said that any fighter that slays a dozen others in the grand melee is giving her freedom. But in 300 years, only 3 warriors have ever walked away from the proving grounds. When the closing horns sounded and 13 corpses lay about your feet, you became the 4th to be granted freedom, to thunderous applause. Yeah! But this autonomy was short-lived. Within days, words of your accomplishment made its way to the Archon of Justice. And of course, probably he just say, you are mine, come. And, end of the story. Sorry for that. Hunter, when the leader of your home village spoke out of turn one time too many, agents of the Overlord put the whole town to the torch to contain the spread of insubordination. The Bounding Viper tribe came across the smoking ruins of your village, and when the beast's matriarch found you frozen but unafraid, the mighty leader took you in and raised you with the protection of her tribe. For years you lived with these wild beastmen in their migratory homes throughout the mountains, but the Bounding Vipers were a dying breed. Each long winter took a greater toll than the last, and once the dwindling tribe was too weak to defend its lands, disfavored soldiers came to dispense of the ravenous scavengers your tribe had become. Finding a human amongst the wild tribe, the disfavored soldiers make a point of taking you alive. News of the wild child of the north eventually spread to the Archon of Justice, again this guy, and he ordered you released from captivity and delivered into his court, of course, as some kind of pet animal or something like that. Yeah, I wanted to actually, you see, this special, if you, colored word, if you just hover over them, you have this one. If you just right click, you have a much detailed. So what this disfavored actually means. Disciplined and battle hardened, the disfavored are an elite legion in Kairos' army. They spearheaded the conquest of the younger realms, finding themselves always outnumbered but never outclassed. Led by the steadfast and dutiful Graven Ash, whom they follow with obsessive devotion, they are committed to imposing their interpretation of order upon the relative lawlessness of the Tyres. Lawlessness of the Tyres. Oh my god, I can see straight. The Legion only tolerates northerners in their ranks, priding themselves on their high standards and cultural purity. Okay, so basically these are the Spartan guys. Okay. Guild Apprentice. Deeply proud of your intelligence, your parents always knew you were too smart for a life spent with your hands in the soil. Looking to secure a better future, your parents struck a bargain with the 7-Tree Guild, a small magical order willing to teach you letters, numbers, and magic, of course, if you proved capable. For several years you learned much from the mages, mastering reading and writing faster than the rest, and eventually learned the basics of mystic theory and spellcraft. Your magical studies came to an abrupt halt when the voices of Nerat, Archon of Secrets, deemed the guild a peacetime distraction that must be disbanded for the upcoming war. Its mages assigned to proper armies while your peers went on to the other guilds. Your mind was seen as too valuable to be wasted on the armies. Instead, your life was claimed by Tunon, Archon of Justice. Okay, so it seems whatever it happens, I'm still being picked by this Archon of Justice, by Tunon. Noble Scion. Okay, let's see Tunon. Tunon, the Adjudicator, is the Archon of Justice, ruler of the conquered realms, and arbiter of disputes, oldest of the Archons sent to conquer the tiers. Tunon speaks with Kairos authority. His true appearance remains hidden behind an iron mask, the face of judgment. Tunon is an impartial, sober creature, wholly obsessed with justice and order. Though assumed to be a powerful combatant, Tunon rarely strays from his throne room, entrusting his court of Fatebinders to act as his eyes and ears, as well as judges, juries, and executioners. So basically this is what I am, a judge, jury, and executioner. Okay. Noble Scion. Born to noble parents, you were groomed for leadership. Your youth spent on letters, historic rhetoric, and other matters of culture and statecraft. Though you had wealth and creature comforts, you were expected to grow up quickly and bear the honor of shepherding others through prosperity and war. When your parents came under accusation of sedition, you were sent to the court of Tunon, Archon of Justice, to defend your family's action. Your parents were found guilty, their sentence, the dissolution of the treasonous estate. Eloquently pleading your own ignorance on your family's action, you negotiating your most important deal yet, immunity from the crimes of your family for the simple cost of swearing fealty to the Archon himself. Yeah, so basically that's like treason to your family, something like that. Despite the unwilling induction, your education and savvy made you a valuable addition to the Archon's cadre of enforcers. And so long as you remain in good standing, your family just might be allowed to leave. Okay. Soldier. Unable to settle the year's accounts with grain, your parents offer you a tease to the overlord instead. Seeing your first battle as a child, you've known all your life how to fight, how to stay calm at the sight of blood and disembowelment, and how to rely on your fellow warriors. Deemed smarter than the average killer, you were groomed for command and given an education in letters and numbers. With rumors of war, it seemed recruitment into the disfavored legion would be the obvious match for your skills. But the Archon of Justice is known to say that good iron is not used on swords, and good minds are not used for soldiers. Claimed by Tunon, you were instead drafted into the court of Fatebinders, where your martial skills were put to use in the enforcement of Kairos law. Did I check for Kairos? Kairos is a name out of legend. For centuries the Overlord has consolidated power, sending vast armies to swallow entire realms. The most powerful mystic the world have ever seen, Kairos can issue edicts, magical proclamations, and level cities, spread pox, sunder the lands, or change the course of seasons. Yeah, so basically everything what's worse. The Archons, the masters of magic throughout the known world, bow to Kairos, and the Overlord readily destroys any Archon unwilling to kneel. This... Okay. I have a problem here. In here is saying, the Archons, the masters of magic throughout the known world, bow to Kairos. But in the previous screen it was saying that they are bound by Kairos, which is yeah, you bind somebody through, I don't know, a powerful spell, a threat that you killed your family, etc., etc. But this is only saying that they bow to Kairos. So basically from here I understand that they can actually reject Kairos' rule. They have a will of their own, basically. Okay, we'll see about that. So the Archons, the masters of magic throughout the known world, bow to Kairos, and the Overlord readily destroys any Archons unwilling to kneel. These sorcerers and madmen lead the Overlord's armies in near-endless conquest. As the realms of the known world fall to the Overlord, these captured territories are divided. I think this is a mistake. Are divided up amongst the Archons to manage. Okay, I understand what Kairos is. Unable to settle the year's accounts with Green. Okay. I'm finished through that. Lawbreaker. Accused of a crime you most certainly did commit, you stood before Tunon the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, and argued your case with eloquence and conviction. Impressed by your logic, reason, and confidence, he found you guilty anyway. It is rumored that Tunon selects many of his agents from his prisoners. Who better to catch the wicked than those versed in such ways? That's of course true. In his mercy, Tunon offered you the choice of 2 sentences, decades languishing in prison or a lifetime serving him in the court of Fatebinders. The choice was an easy one, and instead of seeing the inside of a cell, you were trained in letters and numbers, magic and war. The laws you once broke are now yours to interpret and enforce. Okay. War Mage. Few have the combination of wits and courage to be accomplished casters and warriors, and those cursed with such a combination of talents are invariably pulled from their mundane lives and assigned to the armies of the Archons. Your earliest memories are of painful slog of training, study, lecture, and exhaustion, all the elements of being groomed for battle. You knew better than to ask what became of your family, nor to question the missives allegedly penned. Nor to question the missives allegedly penned, by their hand that were part of your earliest lessons in reading. When you reached adulthood, Tunon the Adjudicator came to the barracks and laid claim to your life. Seeing you as too valuable for the crucible of battle, the Archon of Justice deemed your life better spent dedicated to the art of punitive legal remedies. Though you had much to learn in matters of civil discourse, none could deny your bright future as Tunon's next great enforcer. Okay, and the last one, Diplomat. Though they could never tell you why, Kiros bestowed great wealth upon your family for some unmentioned service, and your parents used this wealth to have you raised far from home. Your childhood was a nomadic tour of Terratus with hired tutors and fleeting friendships. Where others had stability and routine, you had a worldly and varied education. A careless word in a far-flung city landed you in legal trouble, and you were taken before Tunon the adjudicator and made to stand trial. Not only did you plead your innocence, but you turned the accusation around on the accuser for wasting the court's time, and the Archon of Justice concurred. Amused by your wit, wisdom, and adaptability, Tunon claimed you as his newest enforcer. Okay, so out of all of these ones, War Mage, Simple, Lawbreaker, Soldier, I believe Hunter, it's to go fit with an Archer character. Although I'm interested, of course, in all the others. No, I believe Hunters is the correct one to use in here. Okay, so yes, let's choose Hunter next. Now, I'm not going to read all these ones because I already made my, but I'm going to pass through. Just if you want to, you can just pause and actually read what's saying here. Because from my point of view, I'm going to go with shortbow and javelin, because I'm going to actually try to provide me as let's say, I want to be as far away from battle as possible, but still do damage. But on the other hand, again, as I was saying, going with sword and shield or dual wielding or this kind of warrior stuff, I think it will make the game a little bit too easy. And then as a bowman or mage or whatever, then you actually have to keep your distance. You have to stay a little bit, let's say, not in the center of the fight, which can be tricky. In many cases it can be tricky. Now, I can also choose, no, I have to choose an ability. Hard shot or hobble. Now I'm seeing hobble. Now I'm seeing on this hobble it says target your enemy's feet with a ranged attack, hobbling them if successful. What's interesting for this one is that it's, if this attack is successful, then you are hobbled for 30 seconds, which is kind of good, but cooldown for this one is also 30 seconds, and the damage is 10 to 13 pierce. Now, the other one is this one, hard shot. Cooldown you have 20 seconds, the damage is a little bit bigger than on the other one. So I believe I'm going to choose this one, and I'm going to I'm choosing this one basically. This is very simple because in here I'm choosing this one, and with javelin you only have hobble. So you see, I actually choose both of them anyway. Okay, so let's pick some. Ooh, ninja. Ninja. Okay, let's. I'm going with this. No, I'm going with this one, and then I'm going with this one. Yeah, I think this is a good one. Now, flag. The most obvious will of course be this one or this one, but I think this is too obvious, so I'm probably going with this one. I don't know, we'll see. No, I'm actually going the other way around. This one with this one and this one with, yep, that's kind of good, or yeah, that's kind of better. Okay, enter name. I don't know what. I know. Archer to be. That's simple. Okay, next. Now, might. Might determines the physical strength of a character. Increased might leads to more powerful attacks and stronger abilities, as well as increasing the endurance defense. Okay, so if I choose 1 point out of 8, then I have 3% attack and ability strength. Okay, so this is increasing the power of my attack, this is increasing the accuracy of my attack, and this is increasing the quickness of my attack. Now, what I believe I want in this one is power and quickness, because I'm an archer, and for an archer quickness is also important. So I'm going to spend 4 points in this one and 4 points in this one. The rest I cannot actually work on them. Vitality, wits, and resolve. Okay, in here, bows, of course I'm going to focus. Now I have 20 points. What I believe I'm going to do in this one is just go to 40 in here and then increase the rest of ones in athletics. Determines a character's ability to traverse difficult terrain, as well as their ability to execute complicated moves in combat. Athletics is also used in dialogue to determine your ability to intimidate or physically overpower someone. Now, do I actually need this athletics? Yeah, I probably need this athletics, because you see, it's also recommended for short bow javelin, this one short bow, this one short bow. So as I pick short bow and javelins, and these two ones, this one is also serving short bow and javelin, so I'm going to go with this one. And of course here bows because of short bow, and this one because of javelin. I don't intend to specialize myself too much in javelin and throw weapons. Mainly I will go for archer, if of course I see a valid point to be taken to go with the javelin, which of course will have a smaller range probably, and bigger damage. I'm going to take it, but bow is the main skill point that I'm willing to invest at this point. So next. Now, how do you want to continue? Conquest. Selecting the conquest action option will allow you to play through Kairos' conquest of the tiers, choosing how your characters was involved in the invasion. This gives you the most control over the starting state of the game and how other factions will react to your character. Okay, so this is the quick start. Selecting the quick start option will bypass the conquest phase of the game. No, of course I don't want this one. I want to carve my own path. So I'm going to next. Okay.
All the world has fallen to Kairos, and now the Overlord's eye is on the tiers, our home. The last corner of the world free of Kairos' reign. 2 armies, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, march south from the Northern Empire, the last realm to fall to Kairos a century prior. In the early days of 428, Kairos' armies arrive at the Gates of Judgment, the mountainous border that we Tiersmen so long believed unassailable. Unable to agree on a unified plan of defense, the various leaders of the Tiers sit and wait for each other to deal with the conquerors, until it's too late.
That's probably the worst decision they could have ever taken, just to stay divided. Okay, that's it. During the conquest, you will decide your character's actions during Kairos' invasion of the Tears, shaping the world through which you will adventure over the course of the game. Each choice you make affects your character and how major factions of the Tears respond to you. Your decisions matter. Choose wisely. Okay, that's a nice thing to say in the beginning. So basically they are telling you this is a game in which really your decision matters. The Bastard City. The Bastard City stood on the northern border between Kairos' empire and the Tears, built upon a natural harbor at the crossroads between realms. The city was a nexus of commerce. To the Tears, it was the center of all wealth. To a northerner, it was little more than a backwater trading post. Its symbolic status as a gateway to the continent made it a natural first target in Kairos' military conquest. Circumstances were ideal for you to prove your worth as a soldier in Kairos' armies. Taking this city would send a message to the rest of the Tears. Kairos' will is insurmountable. Man, yeah, it's quite hard to read proper in here. Okay, so let's see Bastard City. Named for its possessions between two realms, the Northern Empire and the Southern Tears, the Bastard City and its surrounding lands known as the Bastard Tier is a melting pot of cultures and a place of commerce and intrigue. The Tearsmen of the South view the Bastard City as a place of wealth and access, but to the people of the Northern Empire, the Bastard City is little more than a sprawling slum. Yes, we already knew that. Tunon, the Adjudicator, established his court in Bastard City. From this foothold in the Tears, he and his court of Fatebinders impose Kairos' law upon the conquered land. Okay, so I understand what's this. Kairos, I already knew about this one. Okay, next. Okay, so I have to choose between infiltrate the Tears, both armies send their forces to prepare the way, and Gates of Judgment. In the first major engagement of the war, Kairos' armies cross the mountains and establish a foothold. Now, I'm going to choose the Gates of Judgment mainly because Kairos is already dominating about 95% of the world, and him to go now stealth, it looks a little bit ridiculous. So I believe this is the way to go. Gates of Judgment. The armies of Kairos took the battle to the Gates of Judgment, trumpeting the opening call of the conquest of the Tears. The two armies brought their distinctive sense of order and chaos to the assault. You went to battle alongside the army whose approach best suited your strength. Now, I'm going to cancel this one just for you guys to see what's saying in here. Infiltrate the Tears. History would remember the Gates of Judgment as the first battle of the conquest, but the real combat unfolded with advance units of both armies preparing for the coming war. The Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus each had a plan to infiltrate the capital city. Which army did you join? Okay, I'm going to cancel this one and go on my original plan. And of course, I'm going to join the battle with the Disfavored, because this is the elite army, this is the lot but stupid army. So this is few but strong, a lot but stupid. Standing shield to shield with Kairos' ironclad elite, you advanced on the mercenary army purchased by the nobles of the Bastard City. The Legion wanted to send a message to the Tears that superior breeding and disciplined training would win the day, which of course is valid almost every day of the year. No. The Bastard City learned too late that a military is earned and never bought. The mercenary army quickly found themselves outclassed by the superior tactics and formation of the Disfavored. Those few who survive, no, those few who lived to end of the battle were rounded up, the weak executed and the strong enslaved to haul the army's wagons on the journey south. Now let's see what this disfavored means. Disciplined and battle-hardened, the disfavored are an elite legion in Kairos' army. They spearheaded the conquest of the younger realms, finding themselves always outnumbered but never outclassed. Led by the steadfast and dutiful Graven Ash, whom they follow with obsessive devotion, they are committed to imposing their interpretation of order upon the relative lawlessness of the tiers. The Legion only tolerates northerners in their ranks, priding themselves on their high standards and cultural purity. Okay, so let's say the strong guys. Okay. Now, to judge the enemy. The soldiers of the tiers fell by the hundreds, and Kairos' armies could not agree on how to handle what few survivors they dragged back to the camp. Befitting your role, the commanders turn on to you to decide the fate of those who occupied prison spans. There were only enough prisoners to support the plan of a single army. Okay, this is cancel, and this one is feeding the host. Against the most optimistic projections, the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus made short work of the local defenders. They did so well that the armies quickly outpaced their supply caravans. Troops were plentiful, but food was scarce. You only had time to execute one plan to secure provision. Okay, I think I'm going with this one because it seems rather natural. As long as you win a battle, to push forward and not to wait for the wagons and everything else. Because you lose the momentum by doing this, and then the momentum in a battle is actually, it can be 50% of the battle itself. So you authorize disfavored troops to confiscate food and supplies from traveling merchant caravans. The tiers had already spent ignorant centuries glutting themselves outside of Kairos' law. And this one, you authorize the Scarlet Chorus to send their horde out to pillage from farms and villages. Spreading the infamy of Kairos' army prepared the tiers for the reality of the impending conquest. Now, I believe it's good to have. Usually, I believe when you're actually confiscated some land, to be polite towards the population, because in the end this is the way to avoid further bloodshed, to avoid bringing food from outside, etc., etc. And by pillaging you actually destroy crops and everything else. So merchants, they will figure it out. Sorry for them, but they will find out. Feeding the host. After raiding the wagons of unsuspecting caravans and securing days' worth of provisions and supplies, the disfavored found a cache of goods behind a hidden panel. They confiscated potions and elixirs bound for secret contracts within the bastard city. The howl filled the disfavored larder with provisions for the following year and denied the defenders of the bastard city supplies that would be desperately needed in the siege to come. That's kind of a double win in here. Taking the bastard city, the armies of Kairos amassed around the bastard city, the first bastion of the tiers to fall. Both armies longed to swarm the walled outpost, the Scarlet Chorus howling for plunder, and the disfavored forming an unbreakable shield wall. Your prowess on the field of battle had carried them this far, but there was one more step before total victory. Both of the armies led inspired schemes to take the bastard city. Which did you support? Okay, so disfavored. You join the disfavored vanguard in a direct assault upon the city gates. No fortification would stand before the unstoppable legion, and I actually... Warrior Respite. Okay, so I'm actually taking a trait from this one. Warrior's Respite. Cooldown 1 per encounter. Minus 50% for 12 seconds, but plus 15% health every 3 seconds for 12 seconds. So basically that's a heal spell. Stand your ground in the face of defeat. During this time you will regenerate health rapidly, but your damage is significantly reduced. Okay. Here, you join the Scarlet Corps in setting fire to the city and blocking the gates. The defenders would surrender or burn. And from this one I take Searing Palm. Gather heated energy into your hands and release it onto a foe. The target ignites in flames, burning over time. Okay, so probably I actually need this one as long as I'm in range. But on the other hand, I also need the healing, because it's sooner or later it's actually impossible not to be hit by some other soldier, and being a ranger, my health is actually being a ranged unit. Okay, so this is mage, and this one is concealing shadows. Okay, create a cloud of obscuring shadows and dust. For a short duration, enemies that use physical attack against you have a significantly increased chance to miss. During this time your attack will also be less effective. Okay, so that's Subterfuge. That I actually didn't pick Subterfuge. 100% grace deflection for 12 seconds, minus 100 accuracy for 12 seconds, plus 200 dodge for 12 seconds, plus 200 parry for 12 seconds. So basically with this one I can actually turn and run, which is kind of interesting. But let's see in here. You led a mixed band of disfavored and Scarlet Corps scouts over the city walls to sabotage its defenses. Okay, so I'm hesitating between this one and the disfavored, which actually give me plus 15% health every 3 seconds for 12 seconds. So basically that's like 15 times 4, that's 60% of the health being recovered in 12 seconds. But usually in these 12 seconds I'm taking damage also. So I don't know, maybe in real life it will be 30% or less. And this one, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this one. But on the other hand, I like healing also. No, I'm going with healing because probably if I don't know how is the game. If I'm going to take damage, then I can heal myself and just stay far away and be 100% heal for the next battle, for example. So I'm just going to take heal. With heroic courage and legendary determination, the disfavored battered the gates of the bastard city to splinters. Those who fell under the consistent hail of arrows or cascades of boiling pitch left the battlefield temporarily, only to appear hours later as Archon's graven ashes protection healed their numerous wounds. Okay, so these guys basically they are almost undead. In time the gates gave way and Kyros's forces spilled inside the city walls with resounding cheers of victory. Yep. Yeah, so one city is down. The bastard city settled into a new state of normalcy, with every tower displaying Kyros's banner. Your name was whispers alongside rumors of a decorated career to come. The army is divided into two fronts and migrated south. Tunon said word that you were to join the next frontier of Kairos' conquest, either as judge and overseer of the settlement of Lethian's Crossing, or as a war advisor with the armies advancing into the realm of Apex. Okay, so let's see. Basically, I have two choices in here. No, okay. No, in here I'm not right-clicking, I just have to hover. Sorry. Apex, it's speaking so much. You have to drink some water, man. I tell you, you have to drink some water from time to time. So if I choose Apex, the troops of the mountain realm of Apex stood idle in the safety of their valley, biding their time as their neighbors in the Bastard tier fell. In the second year of war, a joint force of the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus crossed over the mountains to take control of the tier's central valley. Okay, this is one thing. And then Lethian's Crossing. Deposits of iron made the settlement of Lethian's Crossing a strategic war asset. Kairos sent the forge-bound smith mages of exceptional skill to establish a flow of weaponry. Tunon the Adjudicator sent one of his Fatebinders to ensure the enforcement of Kairos law. Okay, so basically we have weapons in here, and in here we have... What do we have in here? Yes, we are taking the Central Valley. Okay, I believe we are going with weapons. Lethian's Crossings. Years ago, Lethian the Bold founded a small merchant town at the intersection of ancient old walls. A pact between the settlers and a mercenary company meant that caravans were able to travel without fear of bandits or bane, and the town thrived in modest insignificance. Lethian's Crossings drew Kairos in attention for the iron deposits in the surrounding hills. With the region under Kairos control, the northern smith mages could set up workshops to refine ore and arm the disfavored with the finest weapons in the known world, which is actually fine if you're asking me. The Archon of Secrets dismantled the mercenary support with a generous bribe, taking the crossing in a bloodless victory. Tunon dispatched you to travel alongside Kairos' forces and bring order to the region. Okay, so let's see, we have two. The iron must flow. Kairos' smith mages worked day and night to create weapons. No one faulted their dedication, yet productivity was low. The plans that came to light proved divisive to the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus. On one hand, any additional manpower was needed for fighters, not forges. On the other hand, the celebrated weaponry of Kairos' armies needed to be fiercely guarded. Okay, so that's one thing, and the other thing is the cult of Sirin. Sirin, Archon of Song, used her arcane charm to lure locals into joining Kairos' army. As a patroness of the Scarlet Chorus, her efforts were critical to the conscription of new recruits. When an enthralled, disfavored soldier joined her cult, his company feared that the Archon was growing out of control and needed to be stopped. Okay, so in here basically I have the Archon of Song, and in here I have the decision either to send manpower to the forge, either to send manpower to the war itself. The Scarlet Chorus took refugees from the recent influx and forged them to serve in Kairos military. You repurposed these individuals to haul wagons of iron for the smith mages. This proved an inconvenience to the Scarlet Chorus, who relied on their force of numbers to be effective in the field. You conscripted help from a local tribe of beastmen. Their strength would more than offset their disobedience. The disfavored protest that savages have access to the secrets of iron, but their voices were few compared with the support of the Scarlet Chorus. Okay, so basically I have to choose from this one, and in here the disfavored demanded that the Archon of Song cease her recruitment practice and that they be allowed to violently subdue her cult of followers. The loss of soldiers was a significant setback to the Scarlet Chorus conscription efforts. In Scarlet Chorus tradition, you send the latest batch of cultists to the front lines of the Apex campaign. Those who survived were welcome to remain in Kairos' army, and their performance would stand as testimony to Siren's effectiveness. I think I'm going with this one, because just because, I think I'm going with that one. The Scarlet Chorus agreed to transfer Siren's latest recruits to the front lines of the Apex campaign. Your resolution fit their traditional model of conscription, so they consider it a fair alternative. In the weeks to come, more of them returned to active duty than even Siren herself expected, likely owing to their obsessive devotion to the Archon and her enchanting music. Okay, so that's good basically, right? Now, one of Kairos' smith mages swore allegiance to the Scarlet Chorus, jealously hoarding the secret of iron forging. The disfavored demanded the smith's immediate return. The Scarlet Chorus insisted that they were within their rights to take allegiance from any source. Tempers flared and the forges cooled as arguments staled productivity. That's not good. Since the smith mage would not willingly return to work, you enlisted the disfavored to return him there in chains. Since Kairos' law dictates that the secrets of iron be granted only to the smith mages, you rule that the new recruit's mind be erased of all memory. That's interesting. And the other one, ancient threats. Drawn to the arcane energy around the forges, mystical predators from the nearby old walls begin to raid Lethian's crossing. At all hours, both of Kairos' armies reserved their strength for the front lines of the war, and yet the city required protection. You had to delegate the responsibility somewhere. As the largest army, you tasked the Scarlet Chorus with the burden of security. The disfavored took the opportunity to gather their strength. And since the disfavored used most of the iron that came out of Lethian Crossing, it fell to them to stand as the city's vigilant protectors. The Scarlet Chorus enjoy a necessary reprieve. I think I'm going with this one, because Scarlet Chorus, they are kind of many anyway. And disfavored, these guys, they are few anyway, and they are good, so probably they will be better to attack the city. At your command, the Scarlet Chorus flooded the streets of Lethian Crossing. Infighting and competition among the unruly gangs made for disorganized patrols and distracted lookouts. However, when an ominous tide of old world's predators assaulted the city in previously unseen number, it took the full force of the Scarlet Chorus to repel the attack. Okay, they repelled it. Okay, that's good. Who controlled the crossing? Tragedy struck when a mercenary hired by the Voices of Merat injured a forge-bound artisan, leaving him unable to practice his craft. Tunon ordered the mercenaries to leave the city in the hands of Kairos' more responsible servants. Only a token garrison would be left behind while the armies returned to the front. As the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus showed increasing tension and hostility towards each other, Tunon decreed it best that only one force controlled the crossing. Yup, I should have known. Who controlled the crossing? I have to decide. You granted control of Lethion's crossing to the disfavored. You granted control of Lethion's crossing to the Scarlet Chorus. I think I will grant them to the disfavor because anyway the iron goes towards their plates and gear, and if the Scarlet Chorus controls it, then yeah, they will just act as a mob, and no, I like order, so yeah. Who controlled the crossing? The disfavored placed a modest garrison in the settlement of Lethion's crossing. Though the force was larger than might be needed to police the small settlement, protecting the forge-bound ironsmith became the true agenda of the defense force, as these magical craftsmen kept the disfavored invasion force suited in iron. Relieved at the departure of the Scarlet Chorus, the citizens of Lethion's crossing felt that they got the least of two burdens. You receive word from Graven Ash thanking you for your decision. The force-bound and their weaponry could not be entrusted to the Voices of Nerat. Okay, let's see these Voices of Nerat, what they are. Known in his official capacity as the Archon of Secrets, the Voices of Nerat is equal parts genius and madman. Rumors abound that he can steal the minds of others, though few, if any, are alive to confirm as much. The subjects of his interrogation are never heard from again, and the Archon is able to recall the memories of his victim with startling accuracy. Whoa. He is the inconsistent leader of the Scarlet Chorus, vacillating between commanding from the vanguard and directing his armies in absentia. Despite his strange methods, no one doubts that the Voices of Nerat is an accomplished strategist, even suggesting that his madness stems from thinking hundreds, perhaps thousands of steps ahead of his enemies. Whoa, thousands of steps ahead of his enemies. This guy is, yeah. Forgebound, did I read about this? Ah no, maybe I read. Graven Ash, that's the commander. We should read. The last of the great northern generals to stand against the Overlord in ages past. Archon Graven Ash now serves Chiron as Supreme Commander of the Disfavored Legion and is charged with conquering the Tears. Graven Ash shares a powerful bond with the soldiers under his command and regards each of them as family. The death of a soldier at enemy hands represents a grievous loss to the old general who bears the burden of his love with mournful stoicism. Oh, okay. Okay, so let's go next. Man, I barely wait to actually start the campaign. I think I'm going to keep this video on until I actually start the campaign, and then on starting the campaign I will actually start the real game, literally. Okay. With the mercenaries expelled and Lethion's crossings under new leadership, Kairos forces congratulating themselves on bringing order to the settlement and guaranteeing a productive flow of resources. Over the course of this diversion, the army front advanced further into the Tears. Your skills were needed in the realm of Azure, Stalwart, or the Vellum Citadel. Vellum Citadel was a library fortress, the largest archive of the written word in the Tears. The School of Ink and Quill protected and maintained the archive of ancient lore for centuries, standing apart from the political upheaval of the younger realms as an enduring pillar of knowledge and culture. Okay, so basically I have knowledge and culture in here. Vellum Citadel. In here I have, I don't know, probably land. And in here I have, with its easily defended position and rich military tradition, the realm of Stalwart was the most formidable realm in the tiers. Okay, knowledge, food or military? That's actually a hard choice. I'm probably going with the knowledge, because military we are anyway above them. Knowledge we should be anyway above them, but I'm going with knowledge. The Vellum Citadel was an archive and library of massive scale. Its inhabitants were known as the School of Ink and Quill, a circle of mages that centuries ago carved out their own mountainous refuge on lands unsettled by the other major realms. Legends say that the citadel houses a treasure trove of arcane knowledge. The Overlord spies infiltrated the school and confirmed as much. The time was ripe to send a detachment to the great library fortress and force the scholars to yield to Kairos. Next. Okay, let's... Chain of command. A detachment of Kairos' army marched on the Vellum Citadel, expecting an orderly surrender. As they neared the main gates, a blast of arcane energy struck the commander's dead. Suddenly, the highest ranking officer alive, Kairos' forces looked to you for the next step. The call waited on your mind as it had an immediate influence on soldier losses. You ordered the expendable Scarlet Chorus to attack, commanding the disorderly mob forward to give the elite disfavored a chance to withdraw. Though a costly maneuver in terms of life lost, this assured the survival of the most capable and effective soldiers. You ordered the disfavored to advance their shield wall, knowing that a handful of Kairos elite soldiers could not hold off the attack until the Scarlet Chorus retreated. You knew the disfavored would despise you for any losses at the Scarlet Chorus expense, but that was a small price to pay for saving lives. Now, what I'm thinking about this one, disfavored, they will hate me because I put them to attack. But I'm also thinking that if I put the disfavored to attack, then maybe I get more knowledge. Because what I'm afraid of is that Scarlet Chorus will actually burn the library or something like that. So this is my problem in here. If I order the Scarlet Chorus to attack, these guys, they don't have any kind of... they don't care. But let's see the other one. Okay, let's see, this is the other one. Sirin, Archon of Song, used her power to enthrall enemy mages who crept beyond the citadel walls. After Kairos' forces round up the arcane practitioners, the disfavored began executing the new captives before they could share dangerous knowledge. A crime under Kairos' law with the Scarlet Chorus. Okay, what? After Kyrus' forces rounded up the arcane practitioners, the disfavored began executing the new captives before they could share dangerous knowledge. A crime under... Why? I want the knowledge. You calm the disfavored with a compromise. The sage's mouths would be... Oh, yes, because they are pissed off, yes. The sage's mouths would be bound with iron brindles, preventing them from speaking their forbidden knowledge. And then you punish the disfavor for executing mages bound to the Scarlet Chorus, ordering that several disfavored soldiers be given to the Archon of Song as her personal bodyguards. Now, I think I'm going with this one. I'm going to put the disfavored to attack. No. Yeah. No. Okay. Let's see if because I want the disfavored. Let's see if okay. Let's see if these guys they are actually not burning the library, because this is the biggest threat that I have, not to their lives but towards the result of their attack. Okay, next. Ever itching for a fight, the howling mob still recognized your maneuver, the sacrificial move that it was. Those from Scarlet Chorus who ran headlong into battle made promises of a reckoning upon their return. Thankfully for you, hardly any of them limped back in one piece. Those few who survived made fewer whisperings there those few who survived made fevered whisperings their grievances, naming you as a villain to the Scarlet Chorus. Okay. So this one. Lost to the mountains, the disfavored learn of a hidden enemy enclave and send scouts to locate it. They never returned from their mission. The remaining disfavored soldiers demanded that you send the Scarlet Chorus to retrieve the scouts, but the Scarlet Chorus flatly refused to fall into the same trap. Of course they refused. They recommended that the scouts be treated as wartime casualties. Of course they refuse. This is like, you send the best guy out there who actually fall victims, and then you send the cheapest guy out there. You order the Scarlet Chorus to send scouts to locate and rescue the lost disfavored patrol. You consign the disfavored scouts to their fate. If the elite of Kyrus' army could not return on their own, then there was no sense in wasting the lives of the Scarlet Chorus. Of course this is true. Plunder of parchment. The army captured a supply caravan overflowing with arcane books. When the disfavored started a bonfire at forbidden texts, the Scarlet Chorus rescued the tomes from the flames and attacked. Attacked? Oh my god. In accordance with the disfavored wishes, you upheld Kyrus' law regarding forbidden lore and had all of the text burned. You decreed that the disfavored are welcome to burn their half of the plunder, but the Scarlet Chorus has rightful claim to the other half. Okay, provided you first review the text, first eliminate and attach forbidden knowledge. Okay, so I believe that as long as there is a rule, a law for this one, in accordance with the disfavored wishes, you upheld Kyrus' law. So basically there is a law for this one. As long as there is a law for this one, then let's follow it. The disfavored cheered as they tossed books into fire, which I obviously don't agree, but anyway. Savoring the pop of binding and the crinkle of pages beyond count turning black, perhaps the contents might have proven useful, but that was nothing to observing Kyrus' law. Even an advantage needed to be destroyed if it contradicted the Overlord's will. Of course, there is a will, there is a way. I found a way for that. The Edict of Fire. Crestfallen by the preferential treatment you showed the disfavored, the Scarlet Chorus retreated deeper into the mountains, leaving your detachment with a skeleton crew. Tunon sent word that Kairos' patience had run thin. The Overlord would cast an edict of fire on the enemy. The parchment arrived in a slender case of engraved iron. Written on it the words of a spell powerful enough to destroy the Vellum Citadel. You had the choice of when to read the edict. Reading it at sunrise would offer your enemies no warning of the devastation to come. You could also wait until sunset, giving them ample time to flee or make amends. Now that's interesting. Opting to give the enemy no quarter, you proclaim the edict of fire at the first moments of dawn, granting the enemy no warning of the destruction to come. Though the chorus insisted your actions doomed their spies, the disfavored applauded your decision. Okay, so basically the spies of the chorus, they are dead. Claiming they still had spies within the citadel, the Scarlet Chorus urged you to warn the mages of the Overlord Edict. Granting their request, you met with the enemy under a blue flag of peace and warned them of their doom, giving the Chorus spies and the enemy a chance to run. I believe I'm going to do this because yeah, Scarlet Chorus enemies, in the end, they are working for me, so yeah. You confronted the mages with a warning and hoped the message was received. The hour before sunset, numerous figures were spotted fleeing the citadel. As the sun dipped into the horizon, you read the words of the edict. The earth shook and red-orange light glowed in the foundation of the sprawling citadel. Bubbling up from under the library, a torrent of lava heaved with explosive force, gashing from windows and between loose bricks, melting winding trenches in the surrounding land. Days later, the flames still raged on, the conflagration continually fed and renewed by the power of the edict. Okay, so basically I lost everything in here. Oh man. I was hoping to actually read something from the texts, that the treasure that they had. The Edict of Fire. The armies of Kairos left the devastation of the Vellum Citadel in silence. From that day forward, the Tears came to know the once noble citadel as the Burning Library. This was an undisputed loss of resources, knowledge, culture, and life. But a message has been sent. The Overlord will not tolerate defiance. Okay, you have reached the end of Kairos' conquest. Do you want to continue or erase your progress and start over? Of course I want to continue. Man, so much reading. I have to drink more.
The year is 431, and Kairos' invasion has shattered all major opposition in the tiers. The Younger Realms, the Bastard Tier, the Free Cities. All who defied Kairos lay broken by battle, or bowed in surrender. The two armies of the Overlord, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, now control our lands. But our will is not yet extinguished. Not entirely. In the valley of Vendrian's Well, those of us unwilling to bow to Kairos have banded together in defiance. Violating an oath of surrender from 2 years prior, we have staged a bloody uprising, murdering the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus garrison in a midnight assault. With their main forces spread across the tiers, the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus redeploy to Vendrian's Well to crush the resistance. But months pass with no definitive battle. As disagreement and discord paralyze the Archons, we bide our time and wait for our message of insurrection to spread across the tiers. The Overlord is not amused, and Kairos has one message for the Archons: crush the Oathbreakers or die. Kairos backs this threat with an edict, a magical commandment that can slay all in the valley should the order be ignored. The honor of proclaiming this edict fell to you. Sent across the mountains to Vendrian's Well, you carry the Overlord's edict to read before the Archons. As you finally make your way through the winding mountain passes into the valley, the ground trembles, and Kairos' magic seals the way behind you. You are trapped in Vendrian's Well, with Kairos' armies and the Oathbreakers. The only way to survive is to fulfill the terms of the Overlord's edict, in any way that you can.
Okay, ladies and gents, I'm going to stop here because I think there is about over 1 hour since I'm recording this one, and I'm going to come back with a continuation. And actually, this is the game itself. This is the actual game, and I'm looking forward to it. But until further notice, yeah, keep close, and I'll see you soon with continuation of this one, with the part 2, etc., etc. Okay, ciao for now.
I am hungry. Feed us. Boy! Now, you are ready.
For what?
A new beginning.